Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Off the Woodwork Podcast, but not only the Off the Woodwork Podcast, because it's the first podcast where we'll be doing a video version as well, which means I've had to tidy my bed for the first time in about 9 months, as you can see behind me, and I've still got my alcohol there as well, which is slowly going through.
Ladies of London, he is single.
Yeah,
I've got the effort to hide all my alcohol.
Yeah. Well, it's 2020. It's been an abysmal year, so I'll get through it at some stage anyway. But as always, I am joined by Stephen Hall and Anthony Milne. Stephen in the lovely Epsom, Anthony in the lovely Liverpool. I've heard it's lovely. I've never been, but
it is actually. It is.
Yeah,
I've been once.
How's everybody?
Right.
Everybody all right?
Yeah. Not bad. Not too much to complain about because nothing's really happening.
Good. Yeah. Good. But what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the latest round of fixtures in the Premier League and then a little bit about other stuff later on. But first of all, how did our predictions go last week, Anthony, the man with the results?
So, as you know, last week, Matt and I were on 4 points and Stephen was on a whopping 11. This week, in the lead with the most points this week, not overall, Matt with 4 points. And then in joint second place, Stephen and myself with 3 points. So Stephen is still out in the lead with 14, Matt in second place with 8, and the reigning defending champion is behind with 7 points.
So
but
basically, I would have won this week if Fulham didn't score in the 96th minute, which is kind of sad.
Wow.
But
first of all, thank you. This is a big moment for me. I think it's the first time I've won. Majestic 4 points.
Beach.
I'll get emotional now. I'm joking. Oh, what a dreadful week for results in that case. Let's hope we do better this week. So, overall, Stephen's still running away with it, is he?
Yeah, this week, yeah. Just not, since we've redone them.
Gutted.
Which is just awful.
Absolutely gutted. And in that case, let's move on to the Premier League from last week. Probably the most boring week of games so far, would you say?
Yeah, there was more draws this week. There was more one-score games than we've seen so far. We had to wait till 5 weeks in to get our first 0-0 draw, and we got a couple this week. Plus, like I say, even the games that the only game that was high scoring was the Philly Leeds game. Everything else was pretty dull.
And on that note, we'll start with the earliest game of the week, possibly the one which was maybe most surprising and maybe the most eventful. It's Aston Villa losing their first game of the season and losing 3-0 to Leeds United. Stephen, you're a big Villa advocate nowadays. How did you enjoy the game?
This was a clash between two clubs with, the Aston Villa, who are a Tin Pot club, and then Leeds, who have the most annoying fan base in world sport, probably.
That's a big statement. We're going to have a discussion about that.
Have you not just seen the last season and Liverpool winning the league?
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, but at least Liverpool have they can back up their arrogance at least because they won.
You reckon?
Yeah, but to be honest, I think Aston Villa looked pretty good for the first half. I think it's a very misleading scoreline. Up until Leeds' first goal, I think Villa were pretty dominant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Villa still have a lot to be happy about. 'Cause, I mean, let's be real. Villa this season, we all thought they were relegation contenders or just surviving. They'll be happy with how they're playing, even if they lost to Leeds, because Leeds are still a good side. We've seen that. So, Villa, the winning streak's over now, but let's be real, we didn't expect it to last much longer. But they've still got a lot to be positive about. Grealish is playing brilliantly. Barkley's looking good. Ollie Watkins is looking like a brilliant signing. So, Leeds were the better team. But I do agree with you, Stephen, and the fact that before Leeds' first goal went in, I'd say it was a pretty even game.
And also, all the goals scored by Bamford were pretty good goals. I mean, he had to pretty hard to score.
Was it the second that was outside the box where it looks like there was nothing going on, and then bam, top corner.
And the third one, he was marked by 3 players, and he had to use some fancy. And once again, it was from
a dead ball, and he got quite a decent shot off. Yeah, he's looking great so far.
The second was good. I mean, why did Chelsea let him go? No, I'm joking. We've said that about 300 players over the last 6 or 10 years. Yeah, so, I mean, it'll be a big test for Villa coming back to them because now they've lost that game. They need to pick themselves back up. And the next game is against a Southampton team who've just beaten Everton and drawn to Chelsea 3-3.
Big up the Saints.
So what do you
Danny
reckon
Ings.
for Aston Villa? Yeah, well, what do you reckon for Villa going forward at the moment?
I think they just build on it.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you go on.
I said, don't be too disheartened because they played well. As I said, the scoreline was very misleading. It could have easily been a Villa win, to be honest. Grealish looked fantastic. And overall, I think Villa fans have got a lot to be positive about at the moment. Let's just hope this... Well, I mean, I kind of hope it kills their momentum because I don't like Villa. But let's hope for Villa fans' sake that they can keep this momentum going and this doesn't sort of just shatter their confidence. I don't think it will because they still did play well.
So anyway, Leeds, I mean, Villa even, I mean, it's been a good start. I don't think they can complain too much, can they?
Yeah. Whereabouts are Leeds in the table currently? I'm not going to lie, I haven't checked this week. I know that United and City are really far down, though.
The table, I believe, is Leeds are 6th.
Yeah, so they've had a good start as well. It is interesting this year, just like based on the results this week and even just in general this season so far. It is definitely going to be the hardest season to call, I think. I know it's still early days, but Man City aren't looking brilliant. Chelsea and United are still inconsistent. Liverpool have just lost Van Dijk, but they're still winning. They've not looked brilliant this season, but they're still, second in the league.
You can say that last season, though, when Liverpool weren't looking brilliant in some games and still just getting those 1-0s, 2-1s.
Yeah, that's my point. So Liverpool's still winning. Everton have looked good, although they've got to work on their attitude because that's 2 red cards in 2 weeks. Should be 3, but we talked about that last week. Yeah. Wolves, it's an interesting season, isn't it? If you're an Arsenal fan, you fancy your chance at the top 4. Same with Leicester, same with Spurs, because obviously, like I say, Man City will still be there by the end of the season. But right now, they've not looked good.
No. There's no clear favourite yet.
There's no clear favourite, but I would say the 2 Liverpool clubs are probably
this is the thing. This is the thing. I'm getting quite scared because I'm looking around and I'm saying nobody's picked up great form at the moment. And I'm just thinking it would be the most Mourinho thing ever to go on and win the league with Spurs.
Like I say, Liverpool
I'm getting a bit worried.
Liverpool have only dropped 4 points, same with Everton. Leicester
have
dropped,
I'm a
3
little
points? I think Leicester have only dropped 3 points or something. Or maybe more. Maybe more. But because they're top of the league now, aren't they? And what means, like I say, Chelsea looked better this week, and we'll get onto that in a second. But they're still, they're still not the way everyone was talking about them in the summer. Like, oh, Chelsea are going to be up contending, they're going to be winning the league because look at all these signings. They still haven't been that way. Everyone had in their minds.
I don't know if everybody was saying that. I reckon that's just me getting in your head and sort of.
No, there was a lot. There was a lot of people. I was watching a few league prediction videos, and everyone was saying it. And I was kind of going, this isn't FIFA. Players need time to adjust to a new league and playing together. They're moving. A lot of them are moving country. It's not FIFA. But a lot of people seem to forget that. United have just looked poor. They were lucky this week to not have a player sent off. Let's talk about the United-Chelsea game.
Yeah, okay, let's move on then. So United-Chelsea, you'd think there wouldn't be much to talk about, but I'm a Chelsea fan, so of course I'm going to talk about it. Man United versus Chelsea was 0-0. A lot of people came up to me after the game, were speaking to me, my mates, saying that it was an absolutely dreadful game. I agree, it was, but more importantly, I was happy because, I said, I would rather have a 0-0 than have a 3-3. So the most promising things that came out of that game were that our defence was much better. What did you guys think? Yeah,
absolutely. Stephen, you got any thoughts on this one?
I think, Mendy already. I mean, apart from that one sort of weird pass where it went up for a corner, I think he looked pretty solid, to be honest.
It's interesting because there were 2 key saves in that game he made, both on Rashford, the one in the first half and the one just before the final whistle in about the 90th minute.
The one in the first half was solid.
Now, the thing is, it's almost like we've got some sort of Stockholm syndrome, because we've had Kepa in goal, they've given Mendy man of the match because of them 2 saves, and I'm thinking, Yeah, they're good saves, but surely you'd expect any goalkeeper to save them. but because we've had Kepa goal,
I think you're right there. I think Mendy had a good first showing, but he didn't exactly have like a. I compared to like when Alisson came into the Liverpool team or when Ederson came into the Man City team. You know what I mean? Like those signings were felt immediately. Like you could tell the difference. I don't think Mendy's quite on that level, but it's still an improvement. And Thiago Silva looked good as well. He had some like his control of that back line is really what Chelsea needed. They needed someone with experience.
Chelsea didn't need another superstar. They just needed someone to come in and just do a decent job.
Yeah,
basically.
Absolutely. I don't know if you guys know much about Chelsea Twitter. It's a very weird place. There's a lot of weird Chelsea fans out there behind their old sort of like footballer profile pictures and whatever.
Doesn't surprise me about weird Chelsea fans, to be honest.
Well, I think every club has it, to be fair, Anthony. But cheers for that little dig. So there was a lot of them who were moaning about the football they're playing. They don't think Lampard's good enough. They're saying, Chelsea went there not to lose, basically. They didn't go there to win. I personally didn't have a problem with the game, the way we set up. I thought it was quite clever. I thought the way, especially on the right side, how Azpilicueta was defending in that back three with Reece James pushing up. It didn't give Rashford much space for most of the game. So I thought it was okay. I think the main thing at the moment is obviously we need to find the main starting 11. We need to find our first back line. But also we need more up front at the moment because obviously Werner's still not scoring loads. Havertz hasn't really hit the ground yet, but obviously he needs more time. And obviously Pulisic just came back from injury. Hopefully he can get better. What do you guys think?
I feel like Chelsea don't really have an identity at the moment. Like, what is their style of play? I couldn't really tell you.
That's actually, I don't actually know how I sum up how Chelsea play. And I do think you're right with certain players need to get back in and adjust, like Pulisic, like I say, because he is going to be such an important player. You've got Sayek who's starting to come in again. I think Chelsea, now they've got all the players back that they want to have in the team. And, they've got Mendy in. They now need to figure out what their style is, figure out how they're going to approach each game. Because if you've got the same kind of format for each game, you'll be doing better. You know what I mean? If you're changing every week depending on who you're playing, you're not going to go anywhere.
The season's long. There's a lot of games, but and obviously your squad rotation is key, but especially considering the circumstances. But you still want that main kind of strong 11. One of the interesting things I picked up from the game also was that youngster Callum Hudson-Odoi didn't even make the match team squad. What do you guys think about his future at Chelsea? Because I'm starting to think maybe Frank doesn't fancy him.
I wouldn't worry about it too much because, like you say, you can only take so many players, and Hudson-Odoi might be picked next week, and then your point's irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like,
he'll be starting probably tomorrow against what's the name? Krasnodar. I can't pronounce it. Krasnodar. Stephen, you're the man with the name. You know. Okay, maybe
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like you do have it where players are left out entirely. It does happen, and it's not always injury related. Maybe I don't think Frank sees him as a starter, like long-term future, but I don't think Frank's going to be looking to let him go anytime soon because he's a useful squad player to have at least.
At the moment, I suppose we've just done Willian and
exactly.
Going on to United, would you still say it's been a pretty lacklustre start of the season for them?
They're yet to win at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
That sums it up. How can you expect to have a good season if you've not won at home?
I think one of the main things people picked up on also on that game was that Donny van de Beek didn't play or make any sort of contribution to the game.
We were talking, before about how we still don't know why they signed him, and I think that's clear now because
I think it's I think we were right.
Rashford, I think highly of on and off the pitch, but shall we? Even though we talked about it a lot last week, shall we talk about once again poor officiating and the Harry Maguire headlock?
Yeah, I mean, I won't spend too much time on it. The thing that was weird for me was that that Maguire, that's a stonewall penalty in my opinion. But the thing that was weird was that VAR didn't check that, but then 2 minutes later, the ball's gone the other end of the pitch, and United have a penalty shout, and that's been checked by VAR. So that was the only thing that really confused me. I was like, so if they're checking that, why are they not checking the one before?
I actually read in the paper on Sunday, was it? I don't know, I can't remember his name, but it was someone high up in one of the higher ranking referees, kind of in charge, approached FIFA about amendments to the VAR rule. Because I don't know if you know this, but FIFA has rules they want each league to follow. And the Dutch league has completely ignored some of the rules. So the Dutch league has a 10 centimetre rule. So like if he's offside by less than 10 centimetres, you don't, it's onside because you give benefit of the doubt.
I think that's potentially fair.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. Like, I said I could see some issues with it, but I still think it's better than what they've got now. But apparently when he approached FIFA with, can we maybe look at trying to fix some of these, because it's, it's getting bad now. We're getting like it's the main talking point every week. But FIFA rejected any proposal.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're playing at, because I think it would be a great idea to come in with a role like that, because so many of our controversial decisions wouldn't be controversial. Like the Mane goal against Everton, for instance. Sorry, the Henderson goal against Everton. That would have stood with that rule. And
I personally think the other thing is, if there was that rule and there's 10 centimetres given the benefit of the doubt to the attacker, I don't think many people would be against that.
Because what I mean is 10 centimetres really isn't that, it's not that big a distance. It's like, it's nothing. So, but it will keep those minuscule calls from happening, so people will get less annoyed, which I think is the right call. I'm not... Yeah. What are your thoughts?
So 10 centimetres seems a bit too much to me. I think maybe 5 centimetres would be more reasonable, but
5 centimetres is very small though.
Yeah, but when we're talking about offsides, I mean 10 centimetres, that's like could be half a foot. So
no, I know, but what I mean is when you look at some of these calls are like that
10 centimetres.
And that's what I mean, like that to me is fair. Whereas 5 centimetres, which is half that, that's still, in my opinion, too close to call with the freeze frame. Because like
I'd say
one frame is 5 centimetres, another one is like.
I think that's like last week. I think the rule should just be, if you're having to get out the lines, then don't bother with it. If you're having to get
but that's the whole point of VAR, to get the calls. That's why I think it should be a certain. I think 10 centimetres, because like I say, other systems implement virtual refereeing brilliant. Like American football,
or maybe there should be like a time limit
obvious,
on like how long they can take to make the decision. So like you have a minute. If you
I don't think that's a good idea, because you have more rash calls because of that. It'll be like, we can't tell, but there's only like 10 seconds left, so we'll just give it. And like, I see that happening more than we can't tell, so we'll leave it. I think like I was talking about with regards to the United Chelsea result. I was talking to my family about this, and I was saying, so like with rugby, you can hear what the refs were saying to each other.
Yeah.
With regards to decisions, they're basically talking it through, and you can hear what they're saying. Same with American football refs. They like explain their rules. Like they come out onto the field and like, 5-yard penalty, because like they do explain it better. The NBA ones even have it where you can hear them explain when a call's being checked. They'll then say, "Oh, they've challenged because of this. We can't see that, so challenge denied." Do you think the Premier League or just football in general could do with having it where you can hear the conversations between the ref and the VAR ref? Like that way, you don't have that. Oh, they didn't check it. Oh no, they did, but they said they did. Like what I mean, like how the Liverpool Everton game where they said they didn't check it, and then later said they did check it. Do you think we should have it where you can hear the referees? Because I think that
with football, I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I think it would be a good thing, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, but 20 years ago it wasn't happening in rugby. You know what I mean? Just because it's not happening now doesn't mean it can't happen in 2 years.
It's just like with football, I don't know why. It's just the refs just seem to be untouchable. You just can't change anything or criticise them or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Although, unsurprisingly, both the referees involved in the Liverpool-Everton game were not involved this week in any game. Michael Oliver and David Coote were not involved at all.
Well, imagine if they were. You'd be on here and it'd take up half an hour of the show.
I was more than justified in my anger. No, there was a point. Apparently, actually, just to get back onto this with the officiating in the league, apparently the reason they didn't check for the red card is because David Coates did not realise just because it's offside, you still have to check the challenge. So a trained referee did not know the rules.
Yep.
Because
shame, innit?
because what I mean is, no one's arguing, no one's going to know it's a penalty even though he's offside. It's is he sent off for serious foul play? And it is serious foul play. So
honestly, I think just like scrap that players or managers have to get a fine if they criticise the refs. Just scrap the fine. Let managers and players speak more openly about bad decisions.
I do feel bad for refs because they get under a lot of pressure, and like refs, we get death threats over wrong decisions, and I'm like, right, pack it in. It's a game, but I do believe they do need to be held accountable more often when they make poor decisions. Well, I don't think you should just let anyone say whatever they want about refs without any, like, if a manager's like, that referee was shocking, all of you, like, let's say it's Tottenham fans, all you Tottenham fans, go give him grief. If you're saying just get rid of fines, then no, but that's what I mean. Like, I still think the fine should be in place, but I think there should still be more accountability. So once again, VAR getting involved, creating controversy because
that's what it does.
Everyone was saying that was a red card challenge.
Yeah.
Well, what can we do to get better referees? Is it just like we need to train them better, or we just?
I think we need to put investment into it. I think you need to put investment into training your refs because if you remember, this was like back when we were quite young. England FA decided to put a lot of investment into their youth training facilities, and we are now seeing the benefit of that now. With like a lot of the young players coming through, like Sancho, Foden, Rashford, Trent, those guys coming through is due to this funding they put in over a decade ago. So I think if you start funding proper referee training now, it's not going to change it in the next couple of years, but it might change it in like 3, 4, 5 years, which is better than not changing it at all.
Imagine a world of
Luigi Collina. Bring him back.
Yeah. He was on the front cover of Pro Evolution. That's how good he was.
Bring back Clapberg at this point.
Okay, I don't know. Let's move on then, just quickly. 2 teams who played. Both of them currently sit on 8 points in the Premier League. One team would be set of fans would probably be fairly happy with their start of the season. The other probably not so as much. West Ham Man City finished 1-1 this weekend. West Ham keep up good form. Well, I mean, all right form for them is what I mean. City, on the other hand, not so much. What did you guys make of that game?
City just aren't looking themselves. They're just looking flat,
Yeah. Is it to do with injuries, do you reckon?
I don't think we can use injuries again.
Yeah.
We used injuries to explain their poor performance last year. But, like I say, it's not like they've not got the firepower without Aguero. You know what I mean? I know Aguero's out, but it's not like they've not got players who can still contribute. It's the same as losing you. Yeah, it's still another month, I think. I think he was out for 2 months. But that's my point. You can't go, Aguero. It's like Aguero doesn't make a difference. But if you've still got Sterling, Mahrez, Jesus, De Bruyne on your team, Bernardo Silva as well on your team, and you're still struggling to put in performances, that's a much bigger issue.
And obviously the amount they've spent as well. So,
Yeah.
Could it be the case that they've lost faith in the players have lost faith in Guardiola, or they just?
I haven't heard much. I've heard a couple of rumors of players coming out, but majority it seems that they're still unified. I think it's fatigue.
There's whisperings, isn't there?
But the thing is, a lot of these whisperings are just people are just spreading it to create like controversy. There's no actual evidence. The only one we saw was Zinchenko's wife popping off over the summer. That's the only one we've seen, really. So I don't know if it's that. That might be a reason. Like, we can only speculate. But what we can say for guarantee is that they've got to start putting performances in soon. Yeah. If they want to actually contend.
And obviously, Man City's next game is against Sheffield United, isn't it? Away.
Yes.
And another
They've
team
got to be winning that game.
Another
team. That by the West Ham game, though.
Yeah, Sheffield are another team who were underperforming as well.
Saying that, I think Sheffield looked good against Liverpool.
Okay, talk to us about that game quickly then. What was that game like?
So it was I'm not going to lie, it was a dull game. I didn't pay to watch it because I might paying £15 for Liverpool v Sheffield.
Absolutely not. But we'll talk about that a bit in a minute.
But Liverpool looked good. It's good play, but Sheffield didn't look bad. Sheffield, I think, I don't think they were ever going to win, but I think maybe if that was at Bramall Lane, they could have won that game.
You think?
I mean, maybe I'm being a bit generous, but I'd say they still should be happy with their performance, even though they lost. They played well.
Enough. Do you think if it was at Bramall Lane and there were fans allowed in the stadium, do you think then, yeah, definitely they could have done a number?
Maybe. I think they would have put more pressure on Liverpool, but I think, like I say, I don't think Gomez and Fabinho look bad. I think they look pretty solid at the back there. Alisson being in goal, thank you for coming back fit, and now if you can just stay fit for the rest of because see, it's not without Van Dijk, we need Alisson because he controls that back line. But I think Gomez is filling in really well. Gomez was like first to most balls, like to head them clear, which is what we want to see from him. Fabinho, solid player. I might be making stuff up, but I'm pretty sure he had a goal line clearance in this game. Which once again, that's what we want to see. Jota, great game. Salah, Mane, great games. The good thing is Thiago's back. Yeah. So we played a 4-2-3-1 this week, and we had, I think, Salah up front, Mane on the right, Jota on the left, Firmino in the middle, but they kind of were rotating. Yeah. But it was that attack is what we want to see. But Thiago's training individually right now at Melwood, but he should be back in the team hopefully soon, which is great news. Because like piss off for Carlson. But yeah, so that game, it was a bit, cut and dry, but end result's what we want to see. So yeah, not much else to say.
The real difference maker in that game was Milne, actually. I think he was directly involved in both of the goals, wasn't he?
I watched the game and I can't even remember.
He scored one of them, I know that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He scored the first one and he did get the assist for the second. Obviously, there was a goal offside, and it was offside. It was close, but it was offside. Like you could see it. So that was disallowed. Where Salah scored. But yeah, Mane hit the ball in for Jota, who scored a header. So yeah, Mane was involved. Love that man. Love them all.
I think he's probably out of that front three. I think he's probably the best out of that front three, to be honest.
I'd say.
I don't know. Salah's been very good this season.
I was going to say Salah has been.
Sorry, Mane didn't get the first goal. I'm wrong about that. Mane didn't get the first goal. Firmino got the first goal. I was thinking of Mane's goal against Everton.
Firmino got a tap in, didn't he? Yes.
Yeah, but it was Mane. Mane was involved, I believe. But Salah's looked brilliant this season, and I do think the two of them are like equal. I think some games Salah's more important than Mane. I think some games Mane does more. Like, yeah, I don't think it's clear which one of the two.
Yeah, it's good
Salah gets so many goals.
If one player has an average game, the other one can pick up the slack, and
that's what I mean. That's why it's brilliant. I don't think, and I do feel bad for Salah because he gets a lot of the would Liverpool fans be willing to sell him, and I'm like, no, don't get me wrong. If an offer of like 200 million came in, I'd probably yeah, or even 150, yeah, because that's a lot of money. But it's not like I want Salah to go. He's one of my favourite players in the league. I love Salah. He's an excellent player. He is. When he came into the league and people's thoughts on him took what people's thoughts on him are now, it's just how great a player he has become since coming to Liverpool. I don't want to see him go. I don't want to see any of them go, to be honest. Yeah, no. The thing, like, there's some Chelsea
get
players
emotional there, weren't you? Yeah.
It's like you constantly talk about how you want to see the back of Loftus-Cheek.
I don't think Loftus-Cheek is good enough. I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't think he's good enough. On contrast, maybe going to Fulham wasn't a great move for him because Fulham are just going to be losing every week. Maybe not getting the best out of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, point taken.
It's different because Loftus-Cheek has been given so much time, where Salah, like, you binned him off for like 1 or 2 seasons, didn't you? So I think it's kind of different.
Oh, we got our money's back on Salah after his first season. It was incredible. When he set the current record for the most goals in a 38-game season.
Yeah, Liverpool were the second best transfer market team in England. Brentford number 1.
Yes, we had this discussion.
And of course, yeah, Brentford are great. Okay, so let's talk about another thing. So Liverpool, Sheffield United, Anthony, you said and mentioned the reason why you didn't watch the game. It was because it was
No, I watched the game. I watched the game. I did not pay for the game.
Let me rephrase.
Naughty.
You didn't watch the game on normal TV. You did it on one could make the accusation that you've watched it on by the means of a way that may not be legal.
No. What are you talking about? I live in America. It's on NBC.
Oh, you live in America? Oh, it's on NBC, of course.
I don't even know if that's a channel. It's on in America.
Not me. I'll be in sports, mate. I live out in Qatar.
Yeah. No.
So basically, $14.95 for the match it would cost to do it on pay-per-view under the new Premier League scheme, I suppose you could call it. Talk to me about it.
It's ridiculous. Think about it. Most people are already paying £30 odd for BT, and I know how much my family pays for Sky, but we have the whole package. I don't know how much it is just for Pacific Sky Sports.
Probably enough.
But that's what I mean. It's not free, right? And then they're charging £15 over that. I'm just like, look, no one is happy about the fact that fans can't go to the games, right?
Mm.
You know, teams are losing money from ticket sales. Fans are stuck not being able to go watch the team live, and Sky and BT are having to show more games than they originally intended. So no one's happy with it. But a lot of people in the UK are suffering right now due to what's going on with COVID and the job market, and lots of people are struggling. And the fact is, you're then making them go, oh, if you've had a bad week, too bad you can't watch your team now. We're going to make you pay even more money than you're already paying for Sky or BT. Like, what is up? Like, I just think it's outrageous. I think I get why, because the government has said you have to show every game. They've not said you've got to show every game without charging. So they go, okay, fine, we'll show every game, but you've got what pay. And then if the government then go, oh, you can't pay for it, they'll just up all of the standard pricings for Sky or BT. So instead of paying, let's say, £35 a month, you end up paying £45. That's how they'll get around it. Which, to be honest, is still better than what they're doing.
Here's the thing. Us EFL fans have been having to pay-per-view for every match or virtually every match for years, because Sky Sports aren't showing the EFL games, so we have to pay for iFollow every week. That's I think it's either £5 or £10. And so we have to pay for that every week. So it's like, first time. We've been doing that for a long time. I mean, obviously, I think £15.
£5 a week, £15 a week.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not against it in principle. I just think £15 is way too much.
If it was a fiver, I would probably be like, okay, it's a bit frustrating, but fine.
I mean,
£15.
I tweeted about this yesterday. First of all, shout out to the cat. Hello. When Mike Ashley comes out slating the way that they have handled it and saying that £15 is too much for a game, when that slimy greaseball says that it's too much and that it shouldn't be acceptable, and that's when you know that there's a problem.
I was going to say, you've got a point. You've got a point about that, Mike Ashley.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. To me, it's just making profit from a bad situation, which isn't inherently bad, but it's not a bad situation for just you. You got to think about the fans.
It just shows it's tone deaf. It's just tone deaf.
Well, what I mean is, think about it. If you are unlucky enough that the team you support is not on TV for a month, right? You're talking about, you've got to pay £5 if you're EFL, right? That's £20 a month, right? Let's say you play 4 times that month, just hypothetically every week.
Yeah.
Right? You're paying £60 to watch, let's say, Sheffield, or if you're a Sheffield fan, or West Ham, if you're a West Ham fan. That's if they don't happen to play any of the big 6. Because let's be real, big 6 teams are luckier. They're on TV far more because they're the big teams.
Mm.
But West Brom, Fulham, West Ham, Leeds, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, these teams who will not be on
Burnley.
TV necessarily every week, their fans are going to be shipping out an extra 40, 50, 60 pound a month. It's not right to me. It's not right. I honestly don't see the system lasting that long.
What?
Due to a lot
I mean, the problem is if they go back on it now, they're gonna look like right dicks, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's better they do it than stick with
absolutely.
it. They'll look like even bigger dicks if they don't.
What was wrong with the way they were doing it before this month? Showing every game on TV
because they weren't earning as much money, and they just want more and more money.
But
they're their business. They are about money.
Was there so much skin off their nose that they couldn't do it?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. But I do know for a fact originally they didn't want to show every game because that wasn't the point originally. And then the government went, no, you got to show every game. And the government basically said, you got to make the first month free. You got to make September free. And they're like, okay, fine then. We won't charge in September. October, bang. £15. And that's I'm not going to watch, even though I'm a Liverpool fan and I try and watch them every week, I'm not going to watch them, spend £15 to watch them play teams I'm not necessarily excited in watching them play. If I have to pay for Liverpool fees Man United, I will pay for something like that. But that's going to be a free game anyway.
I'm not going to pay, that's the thing. I'm not going to pay £15. I mean, when I can just get up a stream just as easy as anything at the end of the day.
Yeah, I do think it's tone deaf. I do think it's poor showing. Besides making some extra cash, I can't see any positives to it, realistically. Yeah. It doesn't change the fact they've still got a goal there and, show the game. I think at the end of the day, they're probably, I don't know. I don't think a company like BT or Sky really needs to do it. If they were charging, let's say, £10 to go for you to watch online, like Brentford, and then all the money went to Brentford because they're losing ticket revenue, I'd be all for it. You know what I mean? Because then you're solving the issue of loss of revenue.
Or £10, £5 goes to Sky, £5 goes to the club.
Yeah, that I have no problem with. But as far as I'm aware, all the money is going to Sky or BT. I just think it's a bit. I think it's taking the piss a bit. You're trying to mug off.
What I will say is that a lot of fans of these, No, what I will say, some of the fans of clubs who are boycotting the pay-per-views, they rightly should, in my opinion. A lot of them, this has brought a lot of people together actually, and what a lot of fans of different clubs are doing is that they're spending the money that they would have spent on the pay-per-view matches and giving it to charity instead. I saw Newcastle fans do it. I saw Liverpool fans do it.
Big up.
It's quite nice to see people doing that instead of basically just putting it towards these people who already have so much money. It is very greedy, I think. Is probably the way to put it. It's a shame. It'll be interesting to see what they do for November. Do you reckon they'll keep up the same model in November?
Yes, but I don't think they'll charge as much. I think they'll.
I think by Christmas they stop doing it. To be honest, I don't know if they'll do it in November or not, or if it'll be December. But I'm pretty confident, and by Christmas they will have packed it in due to the backlash.
Yeah, they definitely won't keep it going as it is right now.
It'll be interesting
unless they're just that greedy.
Yeah, because obviously in December there's going to be a lot more games packed in. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not impressed with them doing it. I get why they've done it. I can even understand it, but I'm not impressed. I think they had a chance to do in a year that's been pretty dismal for everyone. I think they had a chance to, be a lease of enjoyment for people who are struggling and be like, look, things are bad, but you'll be able to watch your team every week.
Yeah.
And they've taken that away from people. And for a lot of people, that will be a big deal because watching their team every week might have been one of the only few good things going on in their life right now due to everything. Mm-hmm. So I do think they had a chance to do something really positive and good for everyone, and they've dropped the ball.
So with this, is their argument that they have to pay for like camera people to go and commentators and stuff? Because if that's the case, if there's matches which aren't as good, like a Fulham versus West Brom, just send a cameraman but no commentator and just have it like you can press the red button and you can change that game just whenever any commentary and just save money that way.
I don't know. The thing is, they were sending the commentators and camera crew to these games anyway, even when they weren't allowed to show them on TV. Because if you have Sky Sports on YouTube, they upload the highlights pretty much within a couple hours of that game finishing. So they were still sending these people anyway. And they weren't making any money because the games weren't being shown, because these would be 3 o'clock games. I think for a company like Sky, considering how much money they make from advertising, plus subscriptions, plus like just everything in total, I honestly can't see them making too much of a loss, especially because there'll be a lot of families right now who are stuck at home, being furloughed or whatnot, who decided to get Sky Cinema because there's lots of movies there. A lot of people probably would have been taking out subscriptions to Sky for other bits of their content. I honestly think when it was all the games were on TV, you probably would have seen an increase in subscriptions to Sky because it's look,
people are stuck at home, they want to have something to do.
Yeah. And the thing is, because all the games were, I don't think like they needed to make money back. I think they were making like enough money to still be in the green column as opposed to the red.
They just weren't making as much money. Oh, poor you. I'll cry a tear tonight for you.
Hey.
I mean, the only justification for this is greed. There's no.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, what a dreary end to that. On that note, shall we move on to a bit more light stuff, I suppose?
Yeah. Fixture predictions.
Let's do the fixture predictions. So, as always, we're all going to predict the next round of games in the Premier League. We have our board, which gets changed every month. Whoever's got the most points, blah, blah, blah. I won last week, just in case you didn't get it at the start. So anyway, we'll move on then to the first game in this week's.
Before we start,
about 10.
So before we start, our next podcast next week will be the 1st of November. So are we going to finish it for the month for next week's podcast?
If you want, it means it's a very small week.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
When's the next international break?
Yeah. Oh.
Because I think that might be easier. I think the international break's after, was it November 9th or something? Around that time.
Okay, do you want to do it like that then? No, the international break. It's in between the kind of 8th to the 21st.
Yeah, we'll do it after the next international break then.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, it's just easier. Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy days. Okay, so in that case, let's go on to the first game coming up in the next week, match day 7 of 38. And it is Friday night football. Yay. Wolves versus Crystal Palace. What a stormer. I am going for Wolves to beat Crystal Palace 2-1. I don't know. I think Palace are a bit hit and miss at the moment. Wolves are also hit and miss, but Wolves really need to pick up a win. So that's my prediction. Stephen, how about you?
What an odd game to put as the Friday night special game. I wouldn't have chosen that game personally. But I'm going to say 1-0 to Wolves. I think it's going to be pretty boring. Yeah.
Might be.
I've went for the same as you, Matt. I've went 2-1. I don't think it's going to be an exciting game, but I think Palace will still be able to get a goal, so Wolves will have to get 2. I see them winning this game. So, yeah.
Fair enough. So we're all pretty much in agreement there. Saturday morning, 12:30 kickoff. Sheffield United versus Manchester City. 2 teams who would be disappointed with their form so far. Going ahead at Bramall Lane or Bramall Road. I forgot which one it is. Stephen, who do you think? Bramall Lane.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I can't. This is really hard to predict, actually. I mean, if you said this last season, you would have said I'm crazy. But honestly, the way these 2 teams have been playing, it's not as clear-cut as you might think. Even though I think City need to get a win, I'm going to predict them to win because they need to win. I don't necessarily think that means they are going to win, but I think they need to win. So I'm going to say 2-0 to City. They need it.
In my opinion, it's pretty much exactly the same, Stephen. Firstly, I just want to shout out how cute are my cats. Look at them, they're cleaning each other. Look at how cute that is. Second of all, I think I think you're right. I think City need to win this game, and I think they will. Sheffield, it just gets worse for them, really, I think, before it gets better, if it does get better. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Manchester City. Anthony?
I also think Man City need to win this game. I think with Man City, you either get an inconsistent Man City or you get like a team that have come out to prove a point. If you remember last season after they lost to Norwich, they went and beat Watford, what was it, 6-0, 7-0?
Yeah.
They haven't done one of those yet, though.
I went from Man City to beat Sheffield 3-0. What did you say against Stephen? Sorry?
Because remember, I'm 2-0.
Yeah,
City haven't had one of those big, massive scorelines yet this season.
That's why I think this might be the first one where they've actually... Well, no, they have had a big scoreline game. It's just they lost.
Yeah,
to Leicester.
They haven't had like a 6-0 or a 5-0 yet this season. So
did they thrash Burnley last season, or was it the season before that?
Probably both.
Yeah, probably both.
Probably both. Okay. Next game, 3:00 kickoff, which means it'll be on pay-per-view, baby. Yes, get in. It's Burnley versus the mighty Chelsea. Stephen? No, Anthony, you go first.
I went with 2-0 to Chelsea. I think if Thiago Silva and Mendy start, they'll continue to impress on their performance at Old Trafford. I have Werner to score. I don't really know what happened for the other goal, but 2-0 to Chelsea.
So you're Chelsea. Stephen?
I think it's going to be a bit dull, to be honest. Chelsea are weird. Like, you just can't predict them. Like, some weeks they'll come out and score 3, and then some weeks they'll just do nothing. So, because it's Burnley, I'm going to say 1-0, but not to Burnley. That's not my trademark, but I'm going to say 1-0 to Chelsea. Kurt Zuma header from a corner. Scrappy.
Kurt Zuma. Thiago Silva. Okay, fair enough. I am going to say, one, I think it's important that Chelsea keep another clean sheet. We need to keep that going, definitely. What better teams to do it against them, Burnley? And Chelsea need to start scoring more. So I'm going to be a bit optimistic this week. And I don't like being optimistic when it comes to Chelsea because they always let me down. But I'm going to go for 3-0 to Chelsea.
I said Burnley would lose 3-0 to Tottenham last week, and that didn't happen. So,
I suppose. From my beloved Chelsea to Anthony's beloved Liverpool, playing a team we've spoken about, West Ham. Liverpool versus West Ham at Anfield. Stephen, what do you reckon?
I think when Liverpool's involved, there's always going to be goals, and I think there's going to be quite a few goals in this game. I think Liverpool are going to win, but I think they're going to have a run for their money in this game because of how good West Ham have been recently. So I'm going to say 3-2 to Liverpool.
Okay. Me personally, shout out to West Ham. They've exceeded my expectations so far. But I'm fairly confident it ain't going to continue for this game. And I'm just going to go for a nice, simple 2-0 win to Liverpool. Anthony?
Yeah, I've went for 3-1 to Liverpool. I think Liverpool's defence will switch off for a moment or two and West Ham will get goal. I think if Liverpool start with the 4 they started with against Sheffield, or even 3 and Thiago's back, then Liverpool will have too much for West Ham, even without Van Dijk. So 3-1.
Nice and easy. Aston Villa versus Southampton on the Sunday at 12:00. Aston Villa, of course, lost their first game of the season the other day against Leeds. Southampton have also been all right in form, to be fair.
Pick up Danny Ings.
Yeah, Anthony, go on.
2-1 of the Saints. They've been on a good run of form. Drew to Chelsea, beat Everton. Villa have just lost. I think Danny Ings will get a couple of goals, but I still think Ollie Watkins will probably score. I don't expect the Saints to win this comfortably. I think this will be a close game, but I do have Southampton edging it.
Okay, so Southampton beat Villa 2-1, says Anthony. I am going to say, it'll be a tight game. I'm going to go 2-2. 2-2 is what I'm going to go for.
I'm also going to say 2-2. I could see this game going either way, to be honest. I could even see a big
fence.
No, because Southampton, they've been all right. I mean, they beat Everton, which is good for them. Villa, even though they lost last week, they will still look good. So
call me on the fence. You want to be laughing when we bloody get the points. Newcastle versus Everton. Are Everton going to pick up their form? I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to say it's going to be a dreadful game. I'm going to go 1-0 to Everton.
Stop stealing my predictions.
Oh,
You sticking with 1-0 then?
No, I'm going to get. That's what I think it's going to be. But I'm going to change it.
Well, don't do that because then you're probably going to say what mine is.
I got the first.
I'm going to say. I'm going to go for a 0-0. I'm going to go for a 0-0.
Oh, 0-0. Okay.
Why not?
I'm going to be gutted if that happens. And
I'm going for 2-0 to Everton. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin still being in great form. James Rodriguez still being a great player. Obviously without Carlson, thank God, and Digna, or Lucadine. So 2-0 to Everton, but I don't think they're going to look as good as they have in the last few weeks.
Yeah. Okay, on paper, arguably one of the more interesting games of the weekend.
I cannot call this game, so do not pick me first. I cannot. I don't know.
Man United versus Arsenal. Stephen.
It's at Old Trafford. And United still haven't won at Old Trafford. I don't think they'll win this either. I'm going to say 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1 to Arsenal. Interesting. Yeah, okay, I'll go next, Anthony. I'll go next. Like you said, I don't have a clue how this game's going to go.
It depends which team you get.
It really could go three ways. I'm going to take a punt, and I'm going to say 3-2 to Man United. I don't know why. It's just what I thought. 3-2 to Man United.
That's what I thought. I was like, because with these, if you get a poor United side, Arsenal win. You get a poor Arsenal side, United win. You get two good sides, then it's hard to call. So I genuinely don't like. Let me explain. Because while I'm explaining, I'll come up with my answer. So United against Arsenal. With United, they just had the 0-0 against Chelsea. So defence held up there, but will it hold up against Aubameyang, who hasn't fully been on fire yet, but we know his capabilities. But will Arsenal's defence hold up against Rashford and Fernandes? I'm going to go for 2-0. Because both teams are likely to make defensive errors, and I think United get a penalty at some point. I think Arsenal winning 2-1 and United get a penalty.
My reasoning is that even when Arsenal haven't won games, they still look decent. I think against Leicester, honestly, they deserve more. They didn't deserve to lose that game.
No, I agree with you, but what I mean, I think this game, I think any three of these results is realistic because these two teams are so inconsistent. We don't know what side we're going to get. Do you get the Arsenal team that played against Liverpool? United won this easily. If you get the United side that played against Palace, Arsenal win this easily.
I think we're all in a good shout of getting the points in this game. We all have a decent shout.
That was the hardest game to call this week because both sides are...
And it's interesting. So Stephen's gone Arsenal, I've gone United, Ant's gone draw. So one of us is coming out on top.
I think that's part of the reason why I also went for the draw there, because I was going to go for United to win until you did, Matt, and I went, let's make this interesting and have all three of us with a different...
Yeah, fair. I'll tell you what, I mean, good thing we're doing this as a video today because them cats, like, David Attenborough wouldn't be able to record stuff like this. Look how cute they're being. Right, moving on. Tottenham versus Brighton. A Brighton side, which, again, I keep saying I feel like they've been quite hard done by. Anthony, you go first.
Spurs to win 2-1.
Spurs to win 2-1.
I think Brighton will still look good, but Spurs have been in good form. Harry Kane and Son are looking good, so 2-1.
Okay, I am gonna. I should be putting Spurs to win this, really, but no, I'm going to take a gamble. 1-0. 1-0.
I was going to say 2-1 until Anthony said it, and I was going to say 1-1 until you said it. So I'm going to change it for again.
The 1-0 Brighton.
Yeah.
You know what?
Do it.
Why not? 1-0 to Brighton. Go on. Why not?
Oh, go on.
I'm not going to lie, this could potentially... Once again, we all could have this.
Didn't Brighton beat Tottenham last season?
Tottenham better this season, though.
I can't remember.
That's true, but...
Yeah.
Tottenham just seem to slip up against weird teams.
Yeah.
It's called inconsistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we got two more games left, and it's the mighty Monday Night Football, and we're kicking off with an absolute belter: Fulham versus West Brom in a.
I take it this game's not pay-per-view. I take it this game's not pay-per-view because let's be real,
it's half-five.
No one's paying for this game.
I don't think my Fulham fan mates would even pay for this. It's going to be a battle of who's worst. Stephen, go on then.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute El Clasico, classic for the ages, 0-0.
Anthony,
I went for 1-1.
you go for 1-1. I'm going to go for a bit of surprise just to cement how bad Fulham. Oh, look at them fight! Just to cement how bad Fulham are. I'm going to go 2-1 to West Brom. Interesting, eh? Last game of the week, and it could be another pretty good game actually.
I also think this one could go either way as well.
8 o'clock, Leeds United versus Leicester City. I think that's going to be a good game. Anthony, start us off.
Leicester to win 3-2.
Interesting.
I think it's going to be a tight one. But I think Leicester have got more in the bag than Leeds. So yeah, 3-2.
Interesting. I am going to go for 4-2 to the Leeds.
And I thought mine was spicy at 3-1 to Leeds, but yours is very spicy.
Yeah, I think this game's
It's not like Leicester are doing bad, though. Leicester are top of the league.
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't they go top of the league after beating Arsenal? Or making that?
They are currently...
It didn't look amazing against Arsenal, to be honest. I mean, they kind of robbed, Arsenal.
Leicester are currently 4th on 12 points with Aston Villa.
Sorry, my bad. I thought they went top. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go Leeds to win this for reasons unknown. I just have that feeling. So yeah, 4-2.
So do I. Yeah, just have that.
To be honest, I have Leicester winning, but not by much. 3-2.
When your instinct tells you to do it, just do it. When you have, Matt had that feeling that Villa were going to beat Liverpool. We all laughed at him and he went with it.
Wrong. He still got the score wrong.
Yeah, he still got the score wrong, but let's not dwell on that too much, shall we? I don't think anybody got that score right. Apart from Nostradamus back in 1500s or whatever. Anyway, that's where we are going to end this video podcast as well as normal podcast. Thank you for joining me, Stephen Anthony. It's been a pleasure as always.
Just to announce, we are also going to be doing a weekly video as well on top of our podcast, like a little 15 to 20-minute discussion on a random topic.
Yeah, just something that we don't have time to discuss in the podcast, but it could be like more
it
like
just might be out of place. It's just like it's out of place for this.
Yeah, some will be lighthearted, some will be a bit more serious, some will be we'll have much more time to debate, which will be fun. So we'll be doing that for the next few weeks until we fall out.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys enjoyed our transfer window roundup, but that sort of thing would probably be moved to a different segment because even though I thought it was a good segment, it didn't really fit in with the vibe of the podcast, if you get what I mean. But yeah, look forward to some more content. So thank you. You can thank us.
And on that note, we'll see you next week at some stage for the next episode of the Woodwork Podcast. Peace out.
Auf Wiedersehen. Hey guys, this is Stephen from the future. Just to let you guys know that we also have audio versions of the podcast available. Obviously, this is episode 19, and this is our first video podcast, but we do already have 18 podcasts recorded. They are just audio only. So if you want to check those out, they are on Acast and Apple Podcasts. So if you want to check those out, links to everything in the description. Also, we're going to set up a Twitter account, so the link to that will also be in the description. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoy. And our special extra bonus video will be out very soon.